So a day before we released it, he got shot down by Lionsgate that they're not doing the go ahead anymore.
So I think he was, the wound, Derek.
But
so we fucking accidentally gave this man the most insane roasting of a fucking lifetime.
He's like, who the fuck are these podcasters in Las Vegas? Sweet, Derek, are we live?
We are live, coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada. This is the Naturals Pod.
Welcome to this episode of the Naturals Pod. As always, I'm Uncle Kyle, seated once again on the sticks. Some call him the Sandman. Sweet Derek, the producer.
What up, Natties? Let's go.
Today we have a very special guest. Josh Rahman, comedian, is here to have a delightful little conversation with us.
Yeah. What's up, Josh?
What's going on, guys? Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
absolutely. Thanks for coming on.
Of course.
So, you are not originally from Las Vegas, yes?
No, I'm not originally from here.
Give us the journey of how we ended up in Vegas.
Where should I start?
I don't know. We do the little pre-interview questions before. I'm letting you in on all the secrets. But you have a very interesting personal life, and I was like, this is going to be a great conversation. So I would say, start in college, dog. Like that's a highlight reel.
Yeah. Well, so I grew up in this town called Sugar Land, Texas. It's about like 20 minutes away from
Houston, right?
Great name.
Yeah. Yep.
Great name.
Yeah, it's a good name.
I actually know someone that lives there. She's a doctor, so I'm actually
way.
Oh, yeah, that's
Sugar Land,
right.
Texas.
That's right. Yeah,
so she used to live here, and then she moved there, so I'm very well of that area. I haven't been, but she lives in that area. Yep.
Oh, very cool. We'll have
Houston
to talk
area.
more about that after the podcast, not to incriminate a orthopedic surgeon or whatever, whoever she is.
We bleep all names, redacted. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to get anybody's business out there.
Oh my God. No, yeah, but so I grew up there, born and raised, and I spent like the first 26 years of my life in Houston. I went to college at Rice University in Houston. I walked onto the football team there. So like the first like 18 years, I mean, I guess really 23 years of my life, but like in high school leading up to that, it was like all football all the time.
Well, Texas, like that's
and
what it's
Texas
known for.
Too.
Yeah. Texas is football, right?
Totally.
So,
yeah, like I started playing when I was 10, and I started late.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's probably kids that are starting when they're like 5 and 6 out there. Right?
Yeah.
For our international viewers and listeners, I feel like I need to explain to you how American this man is. Mm-hmm. You know, not only did he spend the first 23 years of his life in Texas, but he was playing football while he was doing it. You know what
absolutely. Yeah. And I'm actually half Pakistani, which is funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So my dad was born. I mean, this is kind of like a tangent, but yeah, my dad was born in Karachi, Pakistan. My mom was born in Buffalo, New York. They met, went to a bunch of places, ended up in Houston, and ended up having me. But I mean, neither here nor there.
No, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
So your dad is Pakistani, like God, I'm so fucking ignorant. What's the word I'm looking for, Derek? Like racially.
Yeah.
Like, wow, I would not have guessed that.
Like nationally, maybe is the better way, not racially, but we might edit that out. But
I don't think it's a bad ask. I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm cool with everyone unless you're an asshole. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. No, yeah. He was born and raised in Karachi, Pakistan, and then immigrated when he was like 18, 19 years old. Like the whole like American dream kind of thing. And then
for reals.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, Derek.
No,
like,
that's fucking
this is
cool.
An American dream story.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, and then he met my mom. I think like his parents actually had like this like woman for him like set up in Karachi. Like I think the plan was originally for him to like go there, like get educated,
like the arranged marriage thing.
Yeah, come back and then start your life for real. But he was like, I found a nice like Irish German woman in Buffalo, New York, and I'm gonna marry her. And his entire family was like, I'm sorry, what? But he did it, and then that's
now here you are.
Yeah.
However
many years later came me. Yeah.
So why did he leave? If I'm allowed to ask that, I feel like I'm kind of stepping in it. Derek's making me feel like I'm stepping in it.
Dude, that's a fine question. I think Josh is all right with it.
Yeah. And I talk about this like kind of in my act as well. I just like better opportunities. Like why any other people like leave other places to come to America, because like there's shit that you can do here and that you can't do elsewhere.
Hell yeah.
If you have the will to do it, you can build it. This is motherfucking America.
Yeah.
You just got to have the drive,
100%, 100%. But that being the case, he, coming from like that part of the world, didn't quite understand that like being good at like a sport, like a game of football, could like result in like good things happening for your life.
Yeah, like school and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like I remember it was like my first varsity game that I traveled to when I was.
Now, real quick, what position did you play, or did you play several positions?
I played linebacker.
Okay.
Yeah, linebacker.
throughout,
defensive.
just period.
Yeah. I mean, like when I got to college, I pretty much played like exclusively special teams.
Okay.
Like on on Saturdays and stuff. But I played a little bit of defensive end, a little bit of linebacker. But in high school, I was just like kind of before that, I was a linebacker.
Okay, cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And that essentially took up like all of my time.
Yeah.
All of my time. And then so I kind of did that. And then through like my time playing football, I was able to walk on to Rice University. And while I was there, I, played on the team there, studied and whatnot. And then I got bit by the acting bug.
I seen that on your Instagram, like the real nice theater photos. And I mean, you're in good company. My sister loves the stage and theater. She performs as well. So
Yeah. So I like while I was there, I didn't really play as much as like I would have liked to. I was like a preferred walk on. So
I mean, dude, D1, the fact that you made it on a walk on, that's like impressive though.
Yeah,
dude.
that's
like, so just
indicative
even
of
still
skill.
being on the team, and the
100%.
thing is like you're competing with potential like pros or people that are trying to go pro. So
100%,
that's like a big fucking deal, dude. So the fact that you even made the team is impressive.
Yeah,
dude.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
And I played with a lot of guys that are in the NFL. I played with Jack Fox. You guys know who that is?
I do not.
I
Now,
don't.
admittedly, I'm a fair weather football fan. It continuously pisses me off more and more every single year. So, not a diss to Jack Fox.
Fair enough.
I know
Fair
like
enough.
star players, and like I'm a Niners fan, so if you started naming Niners players, I'd know better.
Gotcha.
But
I don't know if I played with anyone that's currently on the 49ers, but Jack Fox is he's a starting punter for the Detroit Lions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huge reason why they've been so successful so far. I think last season Bill Belichick was like, he's the best punter in the NFL.
Is he the dude with the long? I mean, a lot of punters have long hair now, right? Is that like a trend? Why is that a trend? Have you noticed that? Am I the only one that notices?
You
that?
need like Viking blood.
Yeah,
to be
like
a
the
really
punters have like the
solid
long hair. You know what I'm
punter.
talking about?
I know who you're talking about. I don't think it's Jack. But yeah, I think, the punter for the 49ers. I think a lot of these guys are like Australian.
That's
too.
what I'm saying. Yeah, they all have like this long fucking Fabio haircut. Yeah. They're just bombing these fucking punts in the NFL, dude.
I mean,
You got to stand out if you're going to be a punter.
I think they come from rugby though, right?
Yeah.
Which is
Australia.
respectfully is a rougher sport than football.
You think so?
No pads, dog. Like,
Yeah.
ooh.
I mean, football is brutal, but rugby is just like one step above, I think.
I don't know if he
but I don't
still
know.
plays for them. You should look this up, Derek. But there's a team, the New Zealand All Blacks, and they had
like the
this
best
guy.
team, right?
I have a very limited knowledge. I watched Invictus, but I don't know a whole lot about rugby. But a family friend is a fan of the team. But this guy is just like a fucking Mack truck. And there's this one video where he's just absolutely just running the ball and mowing guys down. And he is just smoking them out of the way. Like,
He looks old, too. That dude looks like 43.
yeah.
They do look like older dudes,
I mean,
man.
Yeah.
it's insane to me
and they
that
do
they
the
play that
haka.
with no pads, because like even in
New
the
Zealand.
NFL, just some of the hits now, these guys, people have evolved, athletes have evolved. Like people are getting bigger and stronger, and they're hitting each other harder. Like you got to have the pads.
Yeah, that's why the concussion problem is never gonna get solved.
Yeah.
We just have to accept the fact
true.
that look, if you're gonna play this game, you're gonna get your brain scrambled.
And I mean, the problem too with the CTE is like they don't even find it until after you pass away. So it's not even like it can be solved before.
Antonio Brown is CTE. Come on, dog. Like, are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
but I mean, the smart players know when their time is up. It's like Calvin Johnson. He retired, and everybody's like, "Oh, why would you retire? You're in your prime." Da, 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 da. He doesn't want to live the rest of his life all broken and fucked up. Like he made money. Definitely, I don't know if shows you how casual of a fan I am. Definitely future Hall of Fame if he hasn't already been inducted. You know what I'm saying? I think it's too soon for him to have been inducted. But
Too soon, but just out of curiosity, because I just want to deep dive this a little bit more. Like,
Yeah.
Wait,
can you
wasn't
tell-
he just inducted?
he could have been, but I mean, a Hall of Famer. Period. Like if he's
I think
not
the
in it, he's
Detroit
gonna be in
Lions
it.
Hall of Fame. Yeah, I remember there was a ceremony.
Hall of Fame for the
Yeah.
Detroit
Yeah.
Lions.
But I mean, he's Megatron, dude. Phenomenal.
Great
Phenomenal player.
nickname too.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of curious your story. Like, so how did the walk-on process go? Because I could just tell you a fun little story that I have first with my dad. So my dad actually played semi-professional tennis. He actually made it to the pro level.
You have got to get some photos of that. Continue.
And he walked on to, I think it was Wisconsin, University of Wisconsin, which is D1 for tennis too. And his story was he's a walk-on. Nobody knew who he was. And the coach goes, hey, and like calls over the guy. And my dad didn't know this at the time, but he calls over the number one big dick on the team, right? So literally the guy that's number one, and the coach goes, sure, let's have you rally a little bit, like knowing that I'm putting you against the number one guy, right? So they start hitting and they start playing. And then the guy goes, all right, the coach goes, why don't you guys play a set? And my dad fucking beats him 6-4 and goes, you're on the
big
team.
Dick moment right there.
Congratulations, sir. You just earned your spot.
Yeah, right. So I'm kind of curious if you have like a similar story, or was it kind of more basic, or I think it's kind of some fun story in that. So.
I had a pretty decent high school football career. I guess I was like a good linebacker, not like a great linebacker, like in terms of like the greater Houston area. So Rice kind of had me on the radar my junior year.
Okay.
And then the way it works is like in between your junior and senior year, typically you go to all these like little mini camps and combines,
like recruiting and stuff like that. Right?
Yeah. Like you go and like you're on the 40-yard dash, and like you do like, you know, drills and stuff for like all the coaches and whatnot. And so I went after my junior year. It was like June 2011 or something like that, and I performed like decently at their little like combine or whatever. And then the coach who was recruiting me pulls me aside and is like, look, we're not going to offer you a scholarship. We got 2 other linebackers that are really good. They're coming in. They've already committed. So we're sorry about that. However, there's this slot on the team called the preferred walk-on. We take like 5 to like 9-ish kids each year, where we're not going to put you on scholarship. We can't guarantee you like a lot of playing time, but we'll at least get you into the university and you'll be on the team.
Okay.
And I had always wanted to go to Rice. That was always like something that I'd wanted to do, like growing up in Houston. And I was like, yeah, okay, sounds good. And at that point, like my recruiting like journey was kind of over. Okay. That was the only like Division I school that like gave me any real attention. I had like some Division II and Division III, and like not like offers, but I mean, you know, interest. But I was kind of like, no, I'm pretty well decided.
Yeah, and I'm sure you didn't want to do like the community college line that some of those do. What's that like show on Netflix or whatever? What is it,
Last
Hard
Chance
Knocks?
You.
Yeah,
Last
Chance You.
Yeah.
Like that route too. Yeah.
I mean, I'm of the opinion that was just rather harmonious. If you already wanted to go to Rice and they just so happened to offer you this position, it's like, why wouldn't you take that?
Yeah.
That's
it's cool. I knew the instant that they like told me that, I was like, okay, I mean, like this is where I'm gonna end up going to school. And then I played my senior year and like not having to worry about any of that. And and then I enrolled and it was great.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah. And then I got there and I was like, oh yeah, I'm not going to play at all.
Yeah, because now you got into acting. So take us down that journey.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I guess, you know, when I got into Rice and I got on the football team there, you know, I kind of realized, you know, I was like a good athlete, but I wasn't a great athlete. And then the guys in front of me were going to be the ones like with the majority of the playing time, you know? And so, actually, my senior year in high school, I was with my best friend and the 2 girls that we were dating at the time. And we were just absolutely blazed out of our minds. We were high as fuck.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go. Yeah. And so the plan was, my mom had just gotten like this Blu-ray DVD player upstairs, and we're like, all right, we're just gonna get blazed. And one of the movies that she had gotten was Inglourious Bastards by Quentin Tarantino.
Ooh, great movie. Quentin Tarantino, my favorite director, greatest director of all time in my books.
Also my favorite director.
Phenomenal, dude.
Also, top 5 of the greatest director of all time.
We can only hope one day, because he listens to comedy and he's a big comedy fan, maybe we'll have him on.
Ooh, I like the call out, Derek. We will manifest that. Let's fucking
Let's
go,
start it
boys.
right here, right now.
Tarantino pod.
Yep. Yeah. And so that was the plan. But like, it was a new Blu-ray DVD player, and like, we were so high. There was just like, there's like the remote for the speaker, the remote for the TV, HDMI, like input.
Too many.
It was too much.
It was going on for that
Yeah,
situation. God damn it. Where is the universal remote?
Yes, exactly. And that is exactly what we needed, and we didn't have it. So I just said, you know what? Fuck this. Let's just see what's on HBO. So we get on HBO, and then we're scrolling through, and we see a movie called Reservoir Dogs. And I was like,
also a great movie.
I've heard of this movie before. And so we clicked on it and we started watching it. And I was like, oh, also directed by Quentin Tarantino. It was at like the same time that we were supposed to watch Inglourious Bastards.
That is like one of the greatest movie openings ever. I fucking love
the tip
that diner
scene, dude, is so
God
phenomenal,
damn it,
bro.
that scene
It's
is iconic,
so good,
man.
dude. It really is.
And even like the credits like fading into it. Oh my God, it's so perfect. I think the 90s are the second best decades for movies of all time. 70s being a close
and the
first.
crazy thing, the beauty
Agree.
of Quentin
Agree.
Tarantino is that his movie is led by writing. It's not by loud booms and action sequences. It's literally the beauty of how fucking genius his conversational and writing.
And what's interesting about how he developed that was, if you hear like his early like Charlie Rose interviews and stuff, he talks about everything I learned about writing, I learned from acting. So Tarantino was an actor for like 6 or 7 years before he started writing stuff down. And like he just kind of, and like that's kind of like how he developed that like that super like performance driven like dialogue style. But anyway, I could talk about Tarantino for hours and hours and hours.
Well, I was gonna say the one thing he said, God, I can't remember what podcast he was on, but he said, I wrote the words. I'm paying you to say the words. I want you to say them. If you have an idea, you can give it to me, but unless it's great, you will say my words. That's what I'm paying you for. And I mean, I respect that because, to your guys' point, the script is what gives it life. Like that's where everything comes from. Dude. Yep. He's a very in-depth creative writer.
Yeah, like so obviously he's not against like improv, but he wants his shit that's written on the page to be the part of acting. He's like, I don't want you going to your flow. He's like, because he's like I said, he's a genius writer, and he's like, I know this. Yeah, he's like, I know this shit's good. You don't need to do some fancy bullshit. Just read what's on the page for you and act your ass off. Now, there's been a couple cool scenes because of that with like Leo and stuff. Like if you watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that scene when he's losing his mind in the fucking trailer was all improv.
Yeah, and then also or when he smashed his hand in Django and he was bleeding and he just rolled with it, like
that's gangster.
Yeah, well, that's just Leo, man. It's like you're gonna get magic,
and probably because you're also in a Quentin Tarantino movie, so you're like, I'm gonna fucking murder this. You know what I mean? Seeing like when you work with directors like that,
improvisations and 25-year-old women. Let's go, Leo.
Oh, dude, 25 is too old, man. They turn
Sub
25.
Okay, you gotta hit like 23, so you get a solid 24.
You're 25. You're old, dude.
Oh shit.
Yeah, man, that's like a. Anyway, but yeah, so high as fuck. Couldn't put together Inglourious Bastards, but we did have the wherewithal to click on the Reservoir Dogs starting, and everything in my life like that led to me like watching that movie, like 18 years old, high as fuck, like senior year in like high school, like training to play college football. Like it all resulted.
Yeah, you got the college shit locked. Like you're thinking about your future. That's a moment, dude. That's a vibe.
Like. And everything in that moment just like culminated in me watching this movie and having like a quasi-religious experience.
Yeah.
I didn't even like movies up until that point. I didn't even like acting. I didn't care. Like I didn't care about any of that. But then like me watching like Reservoir Dogs in that moment was like, I wanna do that, whatever that is. And I didn't quite know what it was at that point, but I knew that that's kind of what it was. I wanted to like be like, I wanted to make art like that. And that kind of like awoke the muse in me, if you will.
And I mean, I'm kind of pushing ahead here, but we can manifest for you. If people haven't heard yet, this is about to be the new motherfucking Hollywood 2.0.
Oh,
so
yeah. Mark Wahlberg created $1.8 billion studio.
Yeah, so you're kind of in the thick of it. So you don't even really need to go to LA anymore. And a lot of like the filming and stuff has kind of got out of LA for like getting into movies and all that stuff.
Yeah, we just got to get those. We just got to get those tax incentives that like Georgia has. I think.
Oh yeah, because they get paid specifically or whatever.
I think I don't know exactly how it works, but I think that's like the next step, and then like shit's already gonna be rolling.
There's a ton of shows on TV made in Georgia at the end of it, and you're like, there's another one.
It's impressive you knew that. I would have never.
I watch a shitload of
I should only watch shows made in Georgia.
Yeah. I am the like anti you, and that movies and me were just like buddies from a very young age.
I'm a huge movie nerd as well.
I am
fucking
a huge
love
movie
movies,
fan.
Dude,
so. Yeah. So after I watched that movie, I proceeded to watch all of Quentin Tarantino's filmography. I got into Stanley Kubrick. I just like watched
top one real quick. What's your number one
movie of all time?
Quentin Tarantino movie.
Oh fuck.
Because top one movie of all time is a hard fucking ask, unless you know.
I know mine.
Okay, hit me with it.
Dr. Strangelove.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yours?
You said Quentin Tarantino movie?
No. My number
movie of all time.
Number one Tarantino for me.
That is. I'm a guy who loves
Doctor
doing
Strange
a good fucking
movie,
list, but it's hard for me to pick.
That's what I'm saying. That's
dude.
why I wasn't trying to define, but Josh knew his. He had his on deck. But also Quentin Tarantino. What would
probably
be your
Pulp Fiction.
Okay, yeah, Pulp Fiction's go to. How can you?
It's just like a perfect movie.
It is a perfect movie.
It's a top 10 movie of all time in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so if you put a gun to my head and I had to pick one, it's super weird. I fucking love Keanu Reeves.
Who doesn't?
A Scanner Darkly. Have you ever seen that?
Is
Richard Linklater.
Yeah, that's a unique fucking pick, dude. I like that.
I haven't seen it, but I saw the movie he did before that in the same style called Waking Life, which was I mean, 10 years older, however many millions of dollars richer, form of like Slacker, right? Like more philosophically, because like that movie's a lot like the movie Slacker.
It's fucking Texas. Weird. You have to watch it.
Mm-hmm. It's a weird one, and it's got that like really cool like animation on it. It's almost like a colored in layer of
It's fucking
It's
great.
a strange movie, but it is very good.
You got to watch it at least once.
This movie's been on my list for a very long time.
And another one that we talked about in previous pods, and I also, the first time I watched it, was fucking blazed, is a movie with Jake Gyllenhaal in it called Enemy. Have you ever seen that?
Ooh. No.
It's a deep cut. Like I don't think a lot of people know about it. I think they shot it in Canada. It's a very art house, artsy movie, but it is good.
This movie is so intense, Josh, that I almost want to be there when you watch this movie because this movie will fucking make your like brain. It's insane.
That spider looks right out of War of the Worlds. Yeah, okay, so do I watch this first or do I watch the what's it called through a Scanner Darkly?
Scanner
that one first.
This one first.
The only giveaway that I'll do with that is like the whole movie. The first time I watched it, I felt uncomfortable the entire time, and what it is like the way they shot it. Every shot is lightly tinted yellow, and it just makes you feel I can't explain it. You'll like watch it. Let's discuss afterwards because it makes you feel unsettled. It's very weird.
All right.
It's a mind fuck movie.
Now I'm just gonna throw this out here. Have you watched the new Roadhouse yet?
No.
Don't. Oh my god, I love Jake Gyllenhaal, but it is a fucking train wreck.
You could tell he was getting a bag on that one. Dude. The acting was not top tier for me, Jake.
Not afford anyone, dude. It was so bad, and I love Conor McGregor, but holy shit, his acting was so bad that it was funny, dude. It's bad.
It was funny watching him give like the post movie interviews. Like, oh, I thought it went good. I hope I get the chance to do it again. No, we'll see.
Never.
Dude, I would say just watch his scenes if you could find them in that movie, and you will laugh. They are fucking horrible. Sorry, Connor, but you are not an actor.
It's him being himself, like outside of the ring. It's the same shit.
Well, even like worse.
Acting's fucking hard, dude. Like,
absolutely,
yeah. It's like they probably just put him in the movie because like, okay, Conor McGregor in Roadhouse movie, like. Yeah, like that checks all the boxes. People are gonna fucking watch that shit.
Now I'll say I did a rendition of Dane Cook skit. Go check it out on YouTube, and I'd say I fucking nailed it.
Give me Derek's top 3 rom-coms, and I would even say you don't even need to rank them. Just give me 3.
You do it first.
I used to be a giant Dane Cook stan, and I still love Dane Cook, even his most recent special.
No, you're not.
I'm a big fan, but I'm gonna do an all Dane Cook top 3. Okay, so here it is: Employee of the Month. Good Luck, Chuck, and My Best Friend's Girl. Bang!
Most guys I meet try real hard to impress me, but there's something different about you.
It's my legs.
Oh my!
He did, buddy. He read his lines. He was fucking locked in. He had the mannerisms and everything. He fucking crushed it, man.
Yeah, I did my best. I'm not much of an actor, but it was
so. You know what? Since you brought that up, Derek, I'm going to speak on it right now.
Okay.
So, yeah, you're going to have to catch me up a little bit.
That's okay. Yeah.
So we had an episode where we did a top 3 rom-com movies, and I'm a big Dane Cook fan, so I picked all 3 Dane Cook rom-coms.
Now, do you have anything against rom-coms?
No.
They're great, right? I don't know why people hate them, but they're like our guilty pleasure.
Do you have anything against Dane Cook?
Absolutely not. What was that special? Vicious Circle?
Oh,
yep.
That was like
childhood.
Yeah, that was like my first foray into stand-up comedy. Like, I'm gonna do a beanie, right? It's like,
not bacon and eggs, breaking and entering.
Yeah. He was like the first comedian to really understand the power of like the digital space and social media.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if you look at like the top like the YouTube videos that like first got to like 1 million views, I feel like all the clips from like that special would probably be like in that like top.
Yeah,
least, like,
and
the
he
first-
reached the rock star level.
He
but-
was fucking huge, man. Every single, God, how old are you?
29.
Okay, so we're not too far away.
How old are you?
Every 35.
Nice.
Every
Same.
time he came, when in his heyday, every single time he came to town, he played the Mandalay Bay, and I went, dude. My mom would always get me tickets as a gift because she knew I loved him.
He was huge.
He was
man.
huge,
Rockstar,
and the
dude.
shows were
Rockstar
fucking
level.
amazing.
Yeah.
He'd come out, he'd do the special, he'd go, haha, okay, because he filmed a lot of them here. He'd leave, and then he'd come back out and he'd go, all right, now I'm just going to do some shit that I'm working on, and he'd do like another half hour to 45 minutes, and it was just amazing. Like, you got your
Awesome,
money's
dude.
worth. It was a great show.
Yeah. And he's back doing shows again too. I mean, I haven't watched. I mean, I haven't watched any of his stuff. Like,
So
probably
he's
since back then.
he's teased Vicious Circle too. He has teased it.
And he's performing a lot. So to get back on what we were fucking talking about.
We're going on a lot.
I didn't think we were going to air this on camera, to be truthfully honest, but we're in it now.
But also, this just proves that I'm a legitimate fan. Look at me and fucking Josh Rahman fangirling over here over fucking Dane Cook, dude. I'm doing it. So
Is Dane Cook here?
if he comes out,
Dane Cook!
that would be
Oh
the
my
most insane surprise. We punked him. He just comes out of the fucking closet. Oh shit, dude. So.
I'm doing a B&E.
he's been sitting in there for
Kicks the door open. Jesus
He's been
Christ.
sitting in there for 25 minutes just waiting to come out.
Oh my God. So Derek is like going, no, when I'm saying it.
Uh-huh.
And we tagged Dane Cook in the reel on Instagram. Ooh. He fucking commented on it.
I'll pull it up.
It is hilarious. He said, lose the guy with the pasty skin. I could get Instagram and fucking read it word for word. But anyways, Derek will give it to us in a second. But he signed it successfully. Zach Tank Chuck, aka Dane Cook, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, 16-year-old me is just like losing his mind right now. So I just DM'd him right away. I was like, fuck it, we're taking shots.
Yeah. You got to get him on. You and Dane Cook need to have a heart to heart.
Well, and that's the thing with like this podcast thing. It's just like we happened to talk in person and arrange this, but like typically, that was just serendipitous that happened.
Yeah.
But usually I'm sending messages and getting you guys in here because we love this shit. We are having a great time. But also, when there's bigger comedians who have also have podcasts and such, don't take them. No shade, Josh.
No. You're not gonna run into Dane Cook at an open.
No. So, but to that point, we love this Las Vegas community. We are just having a blast doing podcasts with you guys. We come out to the shows. We're gonna be planning some live shows.
Oh hell yeah!
That we'll be doing. So hopefully you'll be able to come and join us for that and be a part of that.
I would love to.
So his response,
collaborative thing.
Thanks, man. His response was, "Drop the dude with the pasty skin. You're better off hosting this alone instead of dragging his dead white legs along with you on this jersey." Successfully, Tank Zach Chuck, aka Dane Cook,
God
and those are the
damn.
name of his characters from the 3 movies.
Were you
that he
roasting
wanted.
him?
All I was saying was like, no, because you can't top 3 rom-com.
Can you
Dane
possibly pull up the little clip on the
He
screen
had
so
some
you can see
great
it?
rom-coms
I
though.
can't. I
Yeah.
think I can.
What was the
I
one
love
with Jessica Simpson?
Employee of the Month.
So
That was a great movie.
That's the
I
scene.
love that
That's
movie.
the scene we did.
That's the scene we did. Yeah.
Oh,
So, I was like, fuck it, I'm DMing him. I sent him
Yeah.
a DM and I'm like, hey, I am a huge fan. I have loved your shit for the longest time. Like, I hope that one day we get to a level where you'll want to come do this with us. Because, I get it. There's a certain... I don't know. Some people, like, we've messaged a ton of them. Our response rate is super low with that, which is fine. We understand. We need to grow.
Totally.
So on and so forth. He writes back... I'll do it only if the other guy has to sit in his car and he can't talk. And I was like, my man, you are butt hurt, dude. Like, even the comment that he left was like, I was like, that stung you a little bit and you had to say something about it, which is, it was still like so fucking funny, man.
I think you got to do it.
Yeah, so here, if you want, I'll play you real quick of it,
Yeah.
just the beginning. You don't have to watch
please
the whole
do.
thing, but
So you can see he was kind of having a reaction to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude. So cut
Derek
that off,
is
sweet
pretty
Derek. So
that's Haley Brooks.
And that's me as fucking Dane Cook, and that's our
And that's
friend
Haley.
Haley.
Oh, with the ears, Haley.
And then he goes in the scene. She's like, "There's something different about you." And he goes, "It's my tongue." So in our scene, I say, "It's my legs."
Yeah. I was just thinking about the ear scene too.
Oh yeah. So the ear scene we have with the giant ears.
Shout out
It's a
Haley
funny
Brooks.
bit. Yeah, but you could. And then
So-
the funny part of the bit, real quick, was that we don't talk about this, but like, so when she's talking about her ears, she has tiny hands.
And she got the little baby. Yeah.
But we never talk about the tiny hands. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, dude.
So-
that's how you pull up the tiny hand bit. You don't talk about them.
Yeah.
That's
But anyways,
great.
go ahead, Kyle. So continue on.
So I just continued to wax poetic about how I'm a fan and all this stuff, and we would love to collaborate with him. And he said, "I work with passionate people. Period." So I was like, "Cool."
Yeah.
Haley had the idea for the skit. We did it. I even like put it on Instagram and tagged him and like,
Yeah.
"We're about to drop it. Like, check this out, Dane." He replied to it. He said, "Good luck. Hope it's great." And I was like, ooh, I feel an immense amount of pressure right now. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to be super judgmental of this shit. We dropped it. He did not reply to it. He looked at it. It showed scene. He didn't say shit. So,
but I think he took it personally.
Hit him with the Joaquin Phoenix.
so a little.
I leave you on red.
So he, the beginning of the week that we shot this, he put it out there that he wanted to do another Employee of the Month too. What we didn't know at the time is that he was actually trying to do that, and he had just got shot down, or he was hoping for like a huge bolster of
Yeah,
fan
yeah,
So
support
a day
to
before,
kind of like,
so a day before we released it, he got shot down by Lionsgate that they're not doing the go ahead anymore.
so you
I think he
salted
was
the wound, Derek.
but
So
unknowingly,
we fucking accidentally gave this man the most insane roasting of a fucking lifetime.
He's like, who the fuck are these podcasters in Las Vegas?
I'm not working with these pricks. These are passionate people. You fuckers. You fucking fuckers. You tease
But it
me
was
right
meant-
after I
but it
take
was
an
meant-
L.
It was meant to be funny. It wasn't meant to be an insult.
Pull
it was
up.
meant to be funny, Dane.
Pull up the fucking sad boy tweet he dropped, or X, or whatever we're calling it now, because
man.
So I felt bad. I messaged him and I said,
Yeah.
"Hey, that was not a slam. Like, I'm legitimately a huge fan, and I realized that there was some bad timing in there."
Yeah.
He hasn't even looked at that message, so I think that
Well, you got like 8 responses in between one of the biggest comedians that's ever walked the face of the
so I
earth.
should just count myself lucky for that. But yeah,
Yeah.
dude, fuck. I feel so bad because I feel like he thought it was a slam, dude. So Dane Cook, if you ever see this, I apologize. That was not a slam. I want you to make a new movie or remake any of your movies. I don't give a fuck. I will watch it. I'm still a fan.
I would 100% watch.
Sorry,
Employee of the
dog.
Month, too.
Like it wasn't a slam.
I just don't,
I don't go out of my way to watch rom-coms, but I mean, he was fucking good, man.
Yep.
He the streak that he was on in like the mid 2000s was.
Yeah, he went on a crazy run. It's
Crazy.
the run everyone dreams
so
of
now
going
I'm going to
on.
spill some more Dane Cook tea since we have already
So
opened
this
the bottle.
whole-
We're just going to do it
this
again.
whole podcast is
No. We got time. Moving on.
But anyways, after that crazy rant, so you got into acting, you fell in love with the movies. So tell us more about that. Back to you now. No more Dane Cook.
So then I watched Dane Cook clips for no. Yeah, but then so Reservoir Dogs just kind of just like it
Sparked,
hit.
yep.
Yeah, and so then I got into movies, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be in the movies. Watched all of Quentin Tarantino's filmography. That was number one. So everything up until Hateful Eight, and then I saw Hateful Eight the first day it came out, and then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yep.
When that came out. And then I just kind of started watching all the other movies that I came across. I started studying the works of Pacino. I started watching Godfather, Doctor Strangelove.
Yeah, you're watching all the fucking
Yeah,
legends of movies and directors and all that.
Yeah,
Martin
yeah.
Scorsese films.
Just
and
try
all
to.
those,
I just try to give myself a movie education, I tried to become a student of cinema. I tried. And then I kind of started narrowing down what is it that I like about the movies that I like. And I think, and it was the performance. It was the acting, because you can have some movies that are really good cinematography, some have really good direction, some have really good story and stuff. To me, it was the performers in the thing doing acting, and so I was like, okay, this is kind of what I want to like learn how to do.
Yeah.
And so around my second or third year while I was at Rice, like I said, I wasn't getting like a whole lot of playing time. I started taking like actual like acting classes like outside of school, like film acting classes. So I would go from class to football practice. After football practice, I would go to like these like film acting classes in Houston, and the way that class was set up was like we would just get like scenes from like great like movies. Like I did a scene from like Casino as like one of like my first
great movie.
Like scenes. Yeah.
Now, is this on like some Barry type shit? Have you watched Barry?
I've seen a couple episodes.
Okay.
I've seen a couple episodes.
Except I don't think Josh is a hitman.
I wasn't about to kill anyone.
I mean,
but I did.
You look casual and also slightly dangerous at the same time. So I don't know.
On the football field, a linebacker, you probably had an evil part to you, right? A little dark side of hitting someone, right?
There was a ferocity in me.
You got to be part villain to be a
there still is.
linebacker.
Yeah, especially in the state of Texas. And so I was just going to like these acting classes like 1 or 2 times a week, and I really, really, really liked it. Like I loved it. I ended up like doing like a couple like short films, one of which I think right before my final year at Rice, ended up going to South by Southwest. I was like,
oh hell yeah, that's really fucking
awesome.
cool.
Yeah. The Art of War. Cal Echeverry, he directed it. He's out in LA now. Super talented guy. And I was like, oh shit, like maybe I'm kind of good at this, maybe. And then so that was before my last year at Rice. And so then I decided to take like actual like theater, like acting classes, like acting 1 and acting 2, like at Rice. And like, you know, I think like I signed up for the classes, and everyone in the class was like, all right, here's this fucking jock coming in the fucking
yeah, because you're entering like the theater nerd world. You're not supposed to mix, right? You're the bully.
Yeah, exactly. Get this fucking like asshole out of here.
I mean, I got to imagine that if high school theater is cliquey, that theater, proper theater in college or university is ultra cliquey.
I mean, like there was definitely like a shift, you know, like I didn't spend that much time with like the people who were like in my acting class aside from like scene study. I mean, most of my time was still spent with like, you know, guys on the football team and whatnot. But yeah, my final 2 semesters, I took like an acting 1 class and an acting 2 class, and I was good at it, and like I liked it and I enjoyed it. And then towards the end of my final year at Rice, my theater like teacher actually pulled me aside and was like, hey, like, what do you want to do with your life? And at the time I was like, it's like a consulting tech. I don't know, you know, just like regular job type jobs.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. What particularly were you doing with? Because you said eventually you did get a scholarship.
Oh yeah. So I was given a scholarship my final year at Rice.
Nice.
Yeah. There's this cool thing, you know, I guess consistent play on special teams. You know, I played all 4 years like on like special teams. Like I didn't play that much, but like, you know, I always got on the field. I was
it's awesome, dude.
Yeah. I was
respectable very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, so did you? I'm not trying to get like too deep into your business. Did you pay your own way? Did you get some academic scholarships, or was there other ways that you were paying for school?
Yeah,
is that considered like a state school? Is it like a part of like Texas's
Rice is a private school?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So definitely not a part of the state.
No, yeah. It was expensive. I had to pay my way the first like 4 years, but then that final year, I was I redshirted my first year. So when you redshirt, what that means is
you
like,
don't play,
you sit out, but you don't lose a year of eligibility. So my redshirt senior year, I was put on scholarship, and I did 5 full years. So like I took acting classes during my final year that was like entirely paid for. Yeah. And so like I had all my but I had all like my credits in line to graduate after like year 4. And so I had space in my schedule to take like acting classes. So I was like, why the fuck not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And
especially when you're on a scholarship.
Yeah, exactly. Like, all right. Yeah, I'll take a couple of free acting classes.
Absolutely.
And so I did that. So my last 2 semesters, I took like this acting 1 and acting 2 class, and I really liked it and I really enjoyed it. And then, you know, like at the end of my time there, my teacher kind of pulled me aside and was like, hey, I want to introduce you to someone. I was like, okay. And so she CC'd me in an email with this dude named Jack Young. She's like, Josh, this is Jack. Jack, this is Josh. I think you guys should talk. And I was like, okay. So then I hop on a phone call with this guy, Jack, and he goes on to say like, oh, you have quite a fan in Christina, your teacher at Rice. I was like, oh, okay. She's like, yeah. He's like, she sees great promise in you, and she enjoys having you in class, and yada yada yada. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. Like who are you? And he goes on to say, my name is Jack Young. I run a professional actor training program at the University of Houston. It's 2 years. It's tuition free.
Ooh.
We pay the students a living stipend to come in. You got to be like a teaching assistant, got to grade some papers and whatnot. But in 2 years, we kind of teach you how to be a performer, how to be a professional actor. Like,
it's a pretty solid deal.
Yeah, like voice, body, movement, subtext, action objectives, detail, Tennessee Williams, Shakespeare, Ibsen, like Eugene O'Neill, like
you
contemporary.
You are just hitting us with all the now while I respect theater, but like this is the point. This is something that a lot of people don't realize is what goes into all kinds of acting, whether it's an actual motion picture or if it's the stage. Like, there's a lot of shit you need to know.
People
to,
forget
really
talent too. Like, they think,
level.
Oh, he's just a hot guy or a hot chick. It's easy. It's like, no, there's fucking talent in that shit. That shit is not easy.
Like, there's craft. I feel like Hollywood has kind of like clouded like the craft of acting, you know what I mean? Because like acting has been around for like 3,000 years. Like,
yeah, it's been like for like to dawn of fucking.
It's too many fucking CGI explosions, Josh.
That's
what's clouding up the acting in Hollywood right now. Like, is it fun and
AI
cool?
is doing it now,
and that too. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, the comic book movies. Can we just stop with the fucking comic book movies? I'm sorry, I'm a nerd. I love the Marvel shit. Just stop though, please. We don't want it anymore.
I think we're seeing its end. I think like with Madam Web,
finally though.
Like, I mean, I didn't see it, but I
didn't either. But it bombed.
Well, yeah, and like every single person you talk to,
that's technically a Sony movie, though. I think look that up because Sony still retains some of the rights from it, but they said that's going to be part of the MCU.
It's funny. Sydney Sweeney was like literally like, look, I know the movie sucked, but it's like this was my in at Sony Studios, so like because of the relationships I made here, I'm going to be able to make a fuck ton of movies with them afterwards.
Well, suppose there's rumors she's about to do a movie with Margot Robbie. So
she is just such a wet blanket of a human being.
You think so?
Absolutely.
No.
Now I will admit this, that I haven't watched that stupid.
Have you seen Euphoria?
I have seen.
Have you seen White Lotus?
I haven't watched it in its entirety. I have sampled enough of her shit to know what she's about and to make this claim. I'm not watching all the episodes.
I disagree. For the record, Sydney Sweeney, you are a talented human being. If you ever see this,
okay, well, here's your man right there. I'm just
She'll be in your DM soon, Josh. Yeah. She watches our pod regularly.
Bless you.
That's the play.
I mean, if we get the comment on the fucking Instagram from this one, I'm gonna be like, they're really watching us.
You know, I was DMing with Leo, but just you on the Naturals podcast. I was like, oh, maybe I need to go for the open mic comedian in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
What am I doing fucking around with all these A-list Hollywood celebrities?
So you fell in love with acting. So like, how did that translate to comedy then?
So while I was in acting school, I kind of realized that like stand-up was like the thing that like I wanted to do.
So like, do you know who like Brian Callen is?
Yeah.
Like people like that, right? They were actors. They tried to get in acting. They realized it was too much of a grind, and they tried to transfer to comedy.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that. It's not that it's too much of a grind. It's that so much of it is like out of your hands. So like when my agent or manager like sends me like an audition, like I'll have to like get it in with like in a particular time. And is everything okay?
Yeah, it's my fucking key, my work key. Sorry,
dude. Dane Cook's gonna be so fucking pissed at you, bro. It's gonna be
as long as it's not one of those motherfuckers beeping. That's all I care about, dude. We have to deal with technical issues sometimes.
Kyle,
leave it in,
Kyle. My point's proven.
Seriously, dude.
You gotta get rid of Derek.
God.
No, but all right. Well,
I never will, never do.
Sorry, so we were talking about transferring into comedy. So you're saying we did auditions. You were talking about auditions.
Well, I mean, like as an actor, like, and especially because like I'm like a nobody. I've got like 8 IMDb credits. I've been in like a couple like commercials.
Better than nothing, dude.
Yeah.
What kind of commercials did you do? Can we ask?
Yeah, it was actually for the Jimmy Kimmel show. I actually like shot it in Las Vegas.
Oh, what? Oh, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. So we shot it at the Cosmopolitan. Guillermo, Guillermo. Yeah, the short guy. Yeah, so he was kind of like the star of it. I think it was just like a commercial for like come vacation in Las Vegas kind of thing, because Jimmy Kimmel is he's
from Vegas.
Yeah, and he's very proud of it.
We went to his club, great club.
Yeah,
I was there.
I was there last night on the Show Those Skills.
Oh,
yeah.
He went to the same Catholic church I went to when I was younger.
He's Catholic.
Yeah. I don't know if he still is. I can't speak on that. Sorry, Jimmy. I'm not trying to put your business out in the streets. But no, he knew the pastor that we had, Father Bill at Christ the King. He
Shout
knew
out
him.
Father Bill.
Shout out Father Bill. And we did they did like a youth trip to Newport Beach, and then we went to his studio. And we got to go in the green room. We met Sarah Silverman too, and we got to see the show and everything, and that was really cool. So shout out Jimmy Kimmel for that.
Very cool. Yeah,
and also, I seen that you've been performing at his club down at the Link, and that place is fucking awesome. We went there for Josh Wolf.
Fucking awesome. Yeah. Another great show. I think Evan Connolly, who you guys had on.
Yep.
We just had him on.
Yeah, he performed.
It'll be released before this.
Yeah,
but
him, Josh Lidauer, Johnny Brim, and then Kool-Aid, I believe, as well, are always on the show.
Yep.
We're gonna have to go back because I was told by multiple people about this man boob song, and he didn't fucking do it the night that we went. And it was funny because Evan was like, we were backstage with our shirts off ready to do it.
What do we have our shirts off
happen? And that shit was so funny, dude. I was like, man.
Great show though. I mean,
but
he's
he
a crusher.
crushed it, man. It was very good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like I said, the scene here is live, man.
So just like kind of quickly, because we did kind of skip over. I just wanted like fine tune that. So acting, you're grinding your auditions. You're like, this is tough. Obviously, you're still kind of doing it. But what made comedy?
It was while I was in grad school. Is when like I don't know. The best way that I can like describe it is like I remember I was on like a treadmill. Like I was like going over lines for some play that I was in, and then I just got hit with like this flood of creative like ideas for bits, and I just like wrote them all down, and I was like, you know, because I'd been in like acting school for about like a year at that point. It was a 2-year program. This was at the end of my first year, and like all these ideas for like bits, I remember like I was on the treadmill. I can remember I just get on my phone. I started like writing all this shit down. Like I was like, oh my god, like
do the same thing for the pod. Respect.
Yeah. So it was like the initial like lightning bolt of you know, like whatever it was, and so then I started like keeping like tabs of my ideas, but like because I was so busy like in school, just like with
too much going on,
like classwork and plays, and I did the Houston Shakespeare Festival in between my first and second year, so like I was kind of busy all summer with that. I didn't get a whole lot of time.
What show did you do? You did a Shakespeare.
Yeah,
show?
So I did we did Julius Caesar and As You Like It. Yeah, great. Two great.
They have that Shakespeare thing.
Yeah, have you ever been to St. George? They have the Shakespeare Festival up there. They have the
many of my former classmates have acted in that festival.
It's awesome, man. If you want to give theater a try, that, and then there's the Paul Simon. Look that up. Paul Simon Theater. That's also in St. George. I think it's Paul Simon. But it's great, and at the festival they have the replica Shakespeare theater.
The Globe.
Yep. That they do the productions in, and that's really cool.
Is it Neil Simon? Because Paul Simon is
Neil Simon.
Two very different.
Sorry to Paul and Neil Simon. I fucked it up all the way, but dude.
One of them wrote The Odd Couple. The other one
Neil Simon
did not.
So that's. I'm glad that Derek brought us back to this because that's what I really wanted to ask you. Yeah. I prefer. When I'm going to see things on the stage, I prefer like satires and stuff. I will watch musicals, but I
don't like musicals.
No, not a musical. Okay,
not a musical guy either. I fucking hate.
I didn't learn any of that shit.
Not musical bros. Let's go.
Yeah,
bump my fist, fellas. Thank you so much.
I mean, they're great, and like the people that do them are highly
I'm not
talented.
hating on it. It's just not my cup of tea either, dude.
I
don't want to hear shit going to fucking song and dance.
Musicals.
I'm sorry.
Though I do want to see Book of Mormon. I still haven't seen Book of Mormon.
I have.
We've talked about this so many
times. I saw it in
times.
Broadway. I lived in New York for about 5 years, and I saw it. It is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
That is a musical that I was laughing my ass off. I was on tears. I am a huge Matt Stone, Trey Parker fan.
Yeah.
They are comedic geniuses, and I think most comedians and people can admit they're geniuses as far as writing. They've been relevant for so long. I think the only longer standing show,
sweet Derek certified recommendation,
is The Simpsons, and South Park is still just relevant and great. I love that show. I'm a huge South Park guy.
Yeah. And I feel like South Park is one of those shows that it influences you even though you're not aware it's influencing you.
Yeah.
You know. And I also like I remember I started watching South Park probably younger than I should have.
Same.
Like 4
we all did.
Yeah.
We all did.
But it's like you can watch like an episode that you saw for the first time in like 2005, like again in like 2024, and like you'll laugh for like a whole different like set of reasons.
Still great.
It's still great. It still holds up,
Yeah.
and that shows how masterful those guys were.
Totally. Yeah.
So true.
Okay, so where were we?
So you're writing bits that came to you?
Well, no, but I was just saying I prefer like satires. What is a production that you were in that you really enjoyed the part that you had? What is something?
I love.
Do you still want to do the theater stuff as well?
Dude, I hope I get to do so much acting in my life. But kind of like I was saying before, it's a fickle industry. Acting
it is.
And like I was kind of like what I was saying, a lot of it is out of your hands. So kind of like I was saying, I can get like an audition and I can do really well and I can submit it and maybe like a producer was like, yeah, I don't know, or maybe they didn't even watch my like.
Well, that's what I heard. Auditions will just beat you up, dude. Like almost probably like similar to bombing and comedy to some degree, but I heard auditions are just ruthless, dude.
Well, the shitty thing about it is that what you have to do is you have to give a lot of shit, like give so many fucks about it while also not giving like a fuck at the same time, because you know, you could put like all your effort into like an audition and then like some like casting associate at some like office will be like in the first 10 seconds will be like, he doesn't have the right look, and then like into the pop.
That's just so fucking ruthless.
But it's like yeah, like the 40 hours of work. I mean, maybe not, but I mean like the many hours of work that you put into preparing
someone
the
judged
audition.
you in 10 seconds.
Yeah, it goes away. And the shittiest part about like how auditions are done today, is that you don't get any feedback. So they'll throw you to like the no pile and you just won't hear anything.
Fuck, that's brutal.
At least like with
that shit hits personally. I hate the no feedback. God damn
but it's like
I hate the no feedback.
like they only give you feedback if like you're moving on to the next round. So I mean, like, so it's just like it sucks, you know.
Have you ever gotten like deep and you're like you versus someone else? Like, have you ever experienced that yet? Really?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean, like, I've only been like getting submitted for like I guess like non-independent projects for like maybe like a year and a half.
Okay,
so.
I always thought it'd be interesting if it was like down to you and one guy, and like you're in the fucking room waiting, and you know it's between you and him, and you're just kind of like fucking checking each other out.
Take him out first.
I've never gotten to that point. Yeah.
Well, we'll root for that for you, dude.
Yeah, hopefully one day.
Yeah. Manifestation here in Las Vegas, the new Hollywood.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen. But I mean, I've done like a bunch of like independent projects, like the thing awesome. that went to South by Southwest. Some of my friends out in LA were putting together like this like a 20-minute like short film called Dark X that was very professionally shot. It's like a thriller, and like you watch it, it looks like an actual like thriller movie.
Oh yeah,
I would hope so, because the name is fucking epic. Like,
it's
Dark
cool
X.
It is. Yeah, it's it takes place. It takes place in like the underworld of cryptocurrency and the dark web.
Ooh,
I play a hitman that gets like hired on like the dark web through like cryptocurrency to like
that's
take care of
cool.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be fucking badass. Once I get like a final cut of it, I'll send it to you guys.
Awesome.
Oh, so this is still under wraps.
And we will throw that up, Natties, and we'll put links in the description.
It's
of the
on my
as well, so you guys can check that out.
Yeah, it's called Dark X. I think it's technically in like pre-production on my IMDb or on IMDb. I think, I don't know, but yeah, it's gonna be badass. It's gonna be such a badass. We just gotta wrap up the editing on it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But you know, I love acting. I love film acting. I love theater.
Dude, you got them like really nice headshots and stuff, dude.
Okay, yeah.
Not to put you on blast, dude, but
crispy right there, buddy. Let's go.
Professional.
Yeah, dude.
Shout out David Mueller.
They look great, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
Los
dude.
Angeles. Yeah, thanks, man.
Crushed it.
Yeah, dude. It's fucking what it's part of my life, bro. Stand-up comedy, you know, kind of like we were talking about, like you'll send your audition, you don't get any feedback. But with comedy, it's like, you know, instantaneously whether your creation is good or not, because it's like you'll get good feedback or you'll get bad feedback from whoever the audience is, and then you could be done with it. Where it's like, if you make like a shitty movie, you got to get all the way to the end to know, oh, this was a shitty movie. You got to put in the hours in writing it, the putting together a cast, putting together a crew, like paying for location scouting, doing all this shit, and then it's like however many tens of thousands of dollars later, you're like, oh, this
it's funny because
that's worse.
Yeah,
they'll never,
and that's why Hollywood's not taking any risks anymore. That's why it's like we're getting like Fast and the Furious 93, whatever the fuck it is.
And they'll never admit it, but I would love to know what happens in an actor or actress's mind when they fucking go to the movie premiere and they're like, like, this is fucking like whoops, like
Well,
this is
I mean,
bad. But
as
they'll
long as
never-
the
they
check
never
clear,
talk
dude.
about- I
As
know,
long as the check
If
clear.
you get paid well enough, you're like,
Yeah.
check out my shit.
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting back end money, you might be like, oh,
But you
fuck.
know,
That would make a difference.
you know, when
Oh,
some
shit.
actors like they're not proud of a movie though because they just never mention it. Really, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And like you're gonna have those. I've done like movies and like bad like student projects that I hope never see the light of day. But I mean, it happens.
But-
But
It
you gotta
happens.
keep. I feel like acting, comedy, even what we're doing with the podcasting. Like you need to constantly trying to be evolving yourself. I'm punching the mic. You need to be trying new things and just mixing it up, because like when that was one of the great things about seeing Josh Wolf is just his stories woven, because that's my kind of comedy is the storytelling. They just wove into one another so well and so fluidly. It was just effortless.
He's a master, man. I'm so glad he's in Vegas.
Yep.
He's such a cool guy. Yeah.
But yeah, so like that's what I try not to, as Derek said, we are comedy fans, but we are not comedians ourselves. So I'm not going to sit here and go, you should be doing this, because that's not my place. I'm not a fellow comedian. But what I would encourage anyone to do at any level is what I said, like new shit, like not even necessarily changing yourself, but just always trying to like get the next.
Well, the best comedians in the world are doing that. You can't, like, I mean, some rely on old material, but most of them are constantly writing, creating new specials. Like, those are the top level guys that are just creating. And it just keeps your mind and getting better, and that's awesome.
I try to write for at least an hour every day.
So real quick then, who would be a top comedian for you then? So we act about movies, but pick maybe like
all-time?
a top 2 or 3 maybe, so it's not just one. Who were like, let's go top 3. Top 3.
Carlin's got to be up there, obviously.
Yep.
Just 'cause, I mean, he's just like a mover and shaker, unlike anyone that's ever walked the face of the earth. Richard Jeni. Do you guys know who Richard Jeni is?
Ooh, that's actually not one I've heard of.
Cannot say I do.
Yeah, so kind of a tragic end to his life. He ended up committing suicide, I think, in 2006, 2007, after he released one of the, I was just talking to another comedian about this earlier this week, this amazing special called A Big Steaming Pile of Me, where it's just like his act outs and his writing and like just like everything about his performance is so like perfect. But I think the issue with him was like he was coming up at a time where it was the thing was to be
I've seen
know
him.
who that
I've
guy
seen him.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know him by
He
name,
played.
but yes.
he played the villain in The Mask with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's how most people
I was gonna say,
if they know
I remember him now that I've seen. Yeah,
would know him as.
See his face.
But man, everything about this guy's craft was impeccable. He used to like help write jokes, I think, for Chris Rock, and like they hung together. And Cat Williams actually in a recent interview was like, yeah, I was touring with Richard Jeni. I was learning how to be a good comedian. But I think he was of the time where the thing was to get a sitcom about your life, and he actually had one called The Platypus Man, which I don't think that they went many seasons though. And
Super
Weird name.
super interesting name, the Platypus Man.
It was named for a sitcom, but it was just like part of like
R.I.P.
that
Richard Jeni.
that 80s kind of thing. But man, like one of the things I did during COVID was because like it's kind of when like I wanted to get into comedy. I had just graduated from acting school to no acting, because it was literally I graduated in May of 2020. So like it's kind of how I ended up in Vegas, which is like a long story. But something that I did was I took that special, Big Steaming Pile of Me, and I wrote down, like I watched it and I wrote down every single word that he said in that special, because I was like, I want to see what these jokes look like on paper.
How many times did you have to pause the thing while you were watching it?
It took me like a month.
Oh damn!
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
like I was doing it for maybe like an
you
hour,
had the
like an
time,
hour.
you
Yeah,
know, with
exactly.
the pandemic,
yeah.
so
I didn't have
shit.
fucking anything to do. Like there were no open mics or anything, and I had like just started. I did like 4 or 5 open mics when I was in Houston. Like, so I would like just started. I mean, I really started doing comedy like about 10 months ago, like on the daily. But when I was in Houston back in 2019, I was doing like a couple open mics. But I was like, I just remember watching this. I heard about him on like a Rogan episode, and I was like, this guy's masterful. Because there's this website called Scraps from the Loft, which is a really great website. What they do is they'll have like a bunch of like comedy transcripts that you can like look, like all like Louis C.K. special. They'll be like completely like word for word printed out. And like what you can do if you're trying to like study like other comedians is you can like print out that stuff and just like you highlight, okay, here's the setup, another highlighter, here's his punchline. And so like I'll do that with like comedians that I want to like learn from.
I respect it, dude.
Yeah, but Richard Jenny,
cool. I never heard of that before.
But Richard Jenny did not have one of like that special on any website. So I was like, all right, I guess like we're writing down every single fucking word of this. And
you
so
should have done the people a service and typed it so they could have got it too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
fuck you! No, I will be the only one to learn from Richard Jenny's greatness.
I mean that takes some effort.
No, but I mean that was like it was like a great exercise because like just to see like at least for me how like a joke looks on paper, like how long it is, what kind of words are used, what's the punch word, what's the punch line, like to me it just kind of helps me in my own writing.
Yeah, it's an art.
Yeah,
I call it verbal jousting, dude.
Yeah,
I like that
because you gotta
it is
a little.
Yeah, man.
So I mean, this is great. Thank you for coming on, and also. On average, with our guests, we have a very young, I mean, we are still young, but like young in the comedy community group. And I fucking love that because the Vegas scene is just, I feel like at its birth and it's really just starting to go places.
It kind of feels that way, man.
Yeah.
It kind of feels that way.
We are
like it's a good time to be here.
stoked to be a part of it and to have you guys be a part of it too because we all just want to grow together.
Yes, it's been really fun, man. Thanks for coming on and being on here and taking your time. So
I saw you at the Smoke Show, Mike. You were great.
Thank you.
Plug some of your stuff. What you got coming up?
Like every Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm at Wise Guys open mics, either at Town Square. And,
great venue.
I mean, Wise Guys is a great fucking venue, so that's awesome.
Yeah, pretty much every Monday night, I'm on. There's this guy Manfred Hine. Shout out Manfred Hine. He runs a show in Boulder City at this place called the Backstop Bar. It's like the most awesome dive bar you've ever seen, and he's got like Preacher Lawson was there last year.
Oh shit, yeah.
Boulder City is dope for our Vegas people. It's not a long drive. Say the name of the spot again.
Backstop Bar. Yeah.
Okay.
Every Monday night at 9:30, he's got a great comedy show.
Cool.
Jamal
So
Hellman was there a couple weeks ago. Ray Earl was there last week, man. So many like good comedians drop by, and like there's typically like a pretty good audience there as well.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesdays, I'm at Wise Guys. Thursdays, I'm at the Smoke Show open mic with Mistress K. We actually have like a badass show coming up Thursday at the Smoke Show open mic. She's doing this kind of like I think you were there for it, like this like competition for the spot at the Ice House in Pasadena. And so there's gonna be
that's legit.
Yeah, and I was like one of like the finalists for for last week, and so there's like 13 really funny comedians each doing like 5 minutes. It's gonna be like a really good comedy show.
Oh yeah, dude. Awesome.
So that's coming up, and then just kind of I was at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club last night on the Skills Hudson's Show Those Skills show. I hope to be doing that again, hopefully relatively soon, because it was an awesome show.
Hello, and your socials on social media are
just Josh _ Rahman, RAHMAN. So you can find me on
Derek will
Instagram.
throw those up right there and post. Bang.
Yep.
But yeah, everybody, let us know if you do end up back at Kimmel's. It's a great venue. We'll catch you at the other shows as well.
Totally.
And we'll post those on our socials, guys. Go check out these local shows. They're great.
Do it, baby.
A lot of them, there's no cover charge, and they're in some really cool bars and venues. Go have a drink, have some laughs, have a good time.
Yeah.
Support our local Vegas comedy community, because they
keep an eye out for Josh, because he might be your new fucking Brad Pitt, Leo DiCaprio of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Look out for him on the stage and or screen.
You hear that, Dane Cook? Come on,
coming
Dane
for
Cook.
you.
Yeah. Callback.
Oh, shit.
All right, thank you so much, guys.
But anyways, yep. I've been Uncle Kyle. That's Sweet Derek. This has been our awesome guest, Josh Rahman.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
We will catch
Thank
you
you
on
so
the
much.
next one. Like, subscribe.
Later, Natties.
Share.
Adios.
Email. Regular mail. Throw rocks through my window. Don't do that one. Okay. Good night in the broadcast. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Naturals Pod. Please remember to follow us on your Twitter and Instagram accounts at The Naturals Pod. Do you have what it takes to join the Natty Nation? Like and subscribe to find out.